Hello students, today we are going to discuss our chapter 10 which is about BT, that is the behavioral therapy. Arnold Lazarus offered this action oriented method to help people change their ways of thinking and doing. His theory has behavior approach. It is propagated as BT, that is behavior therapy. BT is understood considering three major areas of development. The first one is the classical conditioning. The example of this you can understand through the knee jerks that we respond to the doctors tapping on our knees, how our legs move without our consent. The second example is salivation. When we see something which we like to eat, our mouth automatically starts salivating, and this is not under our control and we have not started it, but it has happened because it is a part of our system. The second one is the operant conditioning. This is based on our experiences and the resultant consequences produced due to the action, and response can be reinforcing or aversive, which is not desirable response. These can be positive or negative. For example, the operant conditioning, one has to be, suppose if one is working hard for the exams or for bonus, then if one is receiving more marks and more money, then in that case it gets reinforced. So then that becomes a conditioning reflex with that person. So every time he wants some reward, he will inculcate a habit of working hard for it. He gets it when he is encouraged, and his hard work is the positive reinforcement. Similarly, he tries to cheat and achieve good results, and suppose if he is caught doing that, he is punished for his action. Now this punishment is the negative reinforcement, which will discourage the person to follow that method of achieving things. So these kind of reinforcements we experience right from our childhood, and they become an integral part of our personalities. The third part of personality is cognitive trend of BT. When the classical and operant conditioning are mediated by cognitive concepts, then the insight-oriented behavior is generated. Cognitive behaviors are related to our thinking, our knowledge, our language, the use of our senses. So these are something that will also come into play when we are responding to the situation around us. These cognitive factors, for example, role of thinking processes, attitudes, values, etc., play a central role in causing change in our situations. Now, you can get to your page 6 of the notes that we have already sent you, and I will be now discussing about the goals that occupy a very important part in the BT therapy. Goals occupy a place of importance in behavioral therapy. So, first step the counselor takes is to formulate the goal, listen to the counseling, and understand what is the real problem. It is very important to keeping the goals in mind. Counselor and counselee together formulate the course of action. For this, it is important for the counselor to collect enough data for about the counselee's feelings and also to formulate the goal. He must know what is the counselee's current situation, what is the counselee's background, what are the counselee's capacities and other strengths. Counseling has to be actively participating in deciding upon the cause of action. Counselor can help suggesting the technique counselee would like to work on. After this, counselee is put responsible to carry out the action plan, making whatever changes required in the behavior of the finally achieving goals. To finally achieve the goals, whatever requirement of maybe changing the path by which you want to achieve the goals and making it suitable for your own environment, for your own situation, considering the problems that you are facing, the counselee can suggest the changes and collaborate with counselor in forming the goal. Once the goal is formed with the collaboration, it has to be carried out. And this is where very often the counselor needs to give some kind of homework to the counselee. It is imperative that the patient made aware of the need for change. Besides, they completely understand the need to change their situation, their behavior. Situations we can hardly have any control over, but our behavior we can change as per our own requirement. That is where we say that you cannot change the world, but you can change your own self and your own behavior, your own attitudes, your own values. So this is where the counselee has to accept the fact that to bring about the changes in their life, in their situation, to be in a better situation, they have to accept this responsibility. Their own ways of thinking and doing is their own choice, their own responsibility. If this is achieved, they must be ready to work towards achieving their goals. Now, let's see what is the importance of formulating these goals. The goals are always formulated with the collaboration between the counselor and counselee, and they have to be SMART goal, SMART. They have to be sensible, measurable, attainable, reasonable and time-bound goals. As guides to the counselee, the counselor must practice the techniques they may recommend to the counselees. Now, let's see what are these SMART goals. The SMART goals, we said, have to be sensible. That means they have to be something which we can achieve. For example, if some guy who is not even, say, a graduate or not even something that is required to do his CEO's job, unless he has got some natural capacities and he has learned through his experience and all, that goal will become very difficult for him to achieve. The other example, let's see, is say a girl who is about 4 feet 6 inches or 7 inches. For her to become the ramp model is very, very difficult. But she can become the photographic model. So, one has to know one's abilities, capacities, limitations, and then sensibly formulate the goal. The second point in SMART goal is the measurable. Means how much are you able to achieve? If you are able to study well and you have a confidence of doing well, but if you go to the extent of thinking that you can achieve 97-98% of the marks, then it may be very difficult for you, because it is not possible if you have been getting just 40% or 40 to 50% marks, just scraping through the exams and passing. You will be finding it very difficult to reach up to the level of 90%, and especially if it is in a short duration of time. So what you need to do is go step by step. First, from 50% you can aim at 60%. After that you can go up to 70%. So that way, by gradually improving your capacities, you will be able to reach 90%. Now when you are going step by step like that, your goals become measurable. So you cannot straight away say, I am going to get 90% in the next exam. You can say, from 60%, I will be trying to get 70%. And that is a measurable goal. Then the goal has to be also attainable. So if a person wants to attain something, then it has to be attainable goal. His goal has to be something where he can reach. If a person is not able to reach the goal is something which is much beyond his capacity. If he is say for example a science student and he wants to be a CEO and be interested in the doing the accounts work, then it becomes very difficult for him, because he will have to go back, study everything about accounts, and then only he will be able to apply the job. So it is very important that the counselor understand what is the counselee's strength, what is the counselee's capacity, and then make the goal which is attainable. If the goal is not attainable, then the goal has got no effect, no meaning. It has to be also reasonable. We need to be reasonable. We can't achieve things by cheating people or breaking the laws. So it has to be something which is reasonably attainable by the individual, and of course it has to be time bound, because we cannot take forever to reach our goals. We need to get moving, and that is one of the purposes of the behavioral therapy, because here we need to think and we also need to put that thinking into practice. So we need to do things, and to do things we need to have smart goals. As guides to the counselees, the counselor must practice the techniques. They must recommend to their counselees. The practice of the techniques will be explained by the counselors, and we in our notes have given you all the major techniques which are very useful to help the counselees having this kind of situational problems. So we have the relaxation technique, then we have got systematic desensitization, then we have impact of modeling, and we have also assertive behavior techniques. Now what is this relaxation technique? Is nothing but the method of getting that into your system so that you are able to get over the stress and all the pressures that you are experiencing every day. It has been explained very well in your notes, so you can go through it, and first I would suggest that you yourself practice it, and it's very, very useful. Then there is a systematic desensitization, as I was giving you the example of a person who is trying to improve their marks, who is just scraping to the exam with some 40%, 50% marks, and his aim is to reach up to 80 or 90%. What he needs to do is to work step by step. First, from 50, he has to aim to go to 60, then 70, then 80, and then finally he can reach his goal. Similarly, I can give the example of a person who is having a phobia. claustrophobia which is preventing him from traveling by lift. So what do we do with such a person? Just giving him a lecture on, oh, see how many people are going up and down and nothing is going to happen. The lift is not just falling down like that. He is not going to be convinced. But if you tell him, come, we all, some 2-3 of us get into the lift and we go only up to the second floor. Then he gets that maybe the confidence to go up to second floor. We go up to second floor and next trip we make up to 5th floor. We try to convince him by doing it repeatedly. This is not going to happen just by going once or twice, but it needs to be repeated a number of times. Then he will go up to 7th floor. Maybe then he will go up to 11th floor. By now, he has also understood that it is not that very difficult or it is not that very risky to travel by the lift. So, he would maybe try and go by himself upon being convinced by the counselor or by the people. And ultimately, he can even travel alone up to 15th floor or 20th floor and his fear has been worked through. So this is the method of systematic desensitization where we take small steps to reach our final goal. Then there is of course the impact of modeling. We all know how people are so much influenced by the models. We have all these big companies taking these known personalities, the celebrities, the film stars and the sports stars to endorse their products. So this is because the people are very much influenced by the models that they see with the product, and this is something that is very commonly used in advertising. Advertising, as you will very well know, is very much based on psychological behavior and the way people react in the psychological way to their products. So that's why they use a lot of modeling, and the models used are making the people get into that kind of thinking where they feel that they too can do it and they want to become like those who are endorsing the products. And this is a very common thing that we observe in the advertising field. Then there is a assertive behavior, and this is something which is very useful in our day-to-day life also. Very often we see that we feel how to say no, how can I refuse? He is my neighbor or she is my aunt or she is my teacher, and we get pressurized because we are not able to refuse certain things to our elders or our friends or our neighbors, and this very often puts us in lot of trouble. If the counselee is demonstrating this kind of behavior, you need to teach the counselee to be more assertive. And being assertive means you have to be learning how to say no. So by saying no, you are not going to lose anything, but you will be knowing for sure what that person's relationship to you is about. So this will help the counselee to improve their behavior, get that strength and stand on their own. It also contributes a lot in also developing their self-esteem. So it is very, very useful to have that assertiveness program inculcated in your behavior, and that is what you are going to employ in teaching the counselee to be more sure about what they want to do and what they don't want to do. So now go ahead, prepare yourself and practice your skills based on behavioral therapies. Thank you.